Hi, welcome back to the channel. It's been a while. I forgot the password to my YouTube channel. Nope, I didn't. I've just been lazy. Don't judge me. Today we're back with a brand new invention. We're going to be doing CyberLens on TryHackMe. Link in the description to a written write-up. Otherwise, we're going to do a video walkthrough right now. So let's look up CyberLens. Easy rated room. I'm liking our new TryHackMe UI. User interface. It looks nice. Step 1, the challenge. We have a challenge description here. We've only got a single task. Let's go ahead and boot up that machine. AI generated background information, lovely. But what we want to focus on is exploiting the web server for this CyberLens company who does something about digital forensics and image analysis. Cool. We do get a couple of hints, got our things to note here. We're being told the domain name, so we don't need to figure that out. And we can go ahead and add that to our Etsy hosts. So let's go ahead and open up our Etsy hosts. And in here, grab our IP, paste that in, tab, and we're gonna be going to cyberlens.thm. Save that, give it a close. Now we want to go to our VPN. Can we ping our remote system? Yes, we can. Alrighty, we've got a CyberLens directory. So we should start with a Rust scan. Have a little look at what other ports we can't use. So let's go ahead and use an IP instead. So seeing port 80 should be that web server. Seeing some other high ports. Seeing so many ports scares me. I don't know what they are. Apparently from research, this is like a thing that happens with Windows machines. They look familiar. Just off the top of my head, I can just remember everything. 445 and 139 is SMB, so don't need to Google that. Don't know what they do. Interesting port 61777. That's a little sus. That is not. It's a bit too high. I'm gonna run that again with the switch G to give us these ports in a nice little greppable output. Yeah, there we go. Damn big list. Give that a Control Shift C. We'll go uppercase. Nope, we'll go up -P. Paste in our ports there and then run that through Nmap to find out some more information about that. But let's go over to CyberLens. How do we go to something? Oh, that's right. So this is the website running on the web server. Wapalizer is going to give us some information so we can confirm we're on a Windows machine. Already had a bit of a hunch about that. And we're running Apache. We even see a version number, so maybe it's an old version. I don't know. But so that's kind of interesting. We get some insight here. We can definitely click around. We have a CyberLens image extractor, which takes us down to where we just were. We have a contact us. Looks like a separate page, contact.html. Maybe there's something funky here. What is interesting and looks a little custom for this challenge is this extractor. So we can go ahead and browse and try and do some things. So for example, I totally stole this off the official write-up. We can save this to our downloads, just this image here, and then we go ahead and browse to our downloads and get that image, upload that there and get the metadata. And there we go, gives us our fancy metadata. So that's cool. So this thing does a thing like what it said. So it's actually like using something. Quick pause on our metadata thingamajig. Let's just go back to our port scan that's finished up. So we're already here. Potentially risky methods trace. Don't know what that is. That's cool. We confirm that Apache that we saw from Wapalizer and that we are running on a Windows machine, confirming 64-bit. So that's kind of nice. A little bit more info. Could suss out SMB. Maybe there's something there we can dissect. Confirming the system name, so that's not too much of a shock there. It's the challenge name. Scrolling down though, there's 61777, the one that was a little unusual. Jetty. don't know what that is. Welcome to Apache Tika 1.17 server. That's unusual. What the heck is that? So now we've got some options. We can go check out this port, which we know is running HTTP. Something tells me that this form has something to do with it. So another thing to always check and to have a good look at is the source code. I'm not a JavaScript guy. Something that immediately sticks out to me is the fact that it's fetching, or it's going out, it's contacting this domain on that port number. So I have no idea what this is, but I was already a little bit sus on it just because it seems a little unusual. And now I'm really sus on it, the fact that this form is going out. So it's kind of telling me, just trying to get my head around how this is working. We're able to upload an image here. It's going to read that image. It's then going to put that data, the image data, through this system, which looks like this service that's running on this separate port. And then, as we saw, it contacts back or gives back some metadata. So kind of getting a decent idea of what's happening here. Even though I don't fully get it, I'm kind of getting it. So let's give that a copy and let's head over to that page. See what we get. Go. So HTTP is not really giving us anything on this meta page, but perhaps we can just go straight. Cool, so we confirm here that there definitely is this service running. These seem to be headers, HTTP headers, and I'm assuming this is different ways to interact with this service. We already saw one being used. This was put. So yeah, you can put plain text in there. Interesting. So let's get to Googling. So even without the version number, we can kind of understand what this is. A content detection and analysis framework written in Java. Stewarded at the Apache Software Foundation. I guess they make it and run it. So that's kind of what it does. So we kind of have an idea about it. But what we really care about is this version that's running on it. But a good search term is always to run exploit. Seen Rapid 7. So I'm thinking Metasploit. And this Rhino Security Lab, this is actually inspiration. If you go and watch the official write-up from Tyler, this is actually, I think he mentioned that this was like the original inspiration for the room. So he goes into a lot more detail in this. So you're looking for a better walkthrough than mine, go watch the creator of the room. Shout out to Tyler. But what we can see, again, is this Rapid 7 Metasploit. And that means we can do this pretty easily if there's already a Metasploit thingamajig module. That's what it's called. So yeah, let's follow the bean ball. We can go ahead and just use this. Yeah, punch some stuff in. MSF console-q for a quiet start. Quiet. Awesome. So we can just go ahead and copy and paste what we saw on, there it is. Or we can just search. So we're just going to use 0 to activate this one because it's 0. Go ahead and look at our options, but I can see them in the background anyway. So it's the exact same. Yeah, it's the same. So let's set our R hosts, and that's going to be our IP, not our IP, the target IP, and paste that in. We're going to set the R port, and that was where our Apache Tika is running, which we saw from earlier. This is going to go ahead and use a payload of a Meterpreter session. So we need to specify our IP we're connecting back to. I always like that it's up in the corner of Kali. Great, and that should be it. So this is where the hint comes in when you do find the exploit. If you're not doing it a custom way or another way, if you're like me and you're lazy and you're doing it the easiest way possible, then this may take a couple of turns or a couple of tries. The hint does say to give it a couple of goes. So that comes into play here. But with my testing, I've only ever had to do it twice at the most. Otherwise, it did actually work for me the first time, which is kind of nice. And here we go again. So we can run who am I? No, we can't. We can jump in a shell though, and there we can run Who Am I? CyberLens, cool. So Meterpreter does give us a couple of other things. I mean, there's heaps of ways to do this, but we can do that. There's also like trying to find hashes, like, so we can try like a bunch of different things. I mean, there's even just like a attempted privilege escalation of just get system. I don't know if that actually ever works. That would be cool if it does work. I'm sure that there's probably a challenge out there that does, but nope, not here. So let's open up a shell. So that's going to open up CMD on the system. And then we can open up PowerShell because why not? So we can see where it's already put us. We're in the Windows System 32. So good idea to start looking around, getting an understanding of like who's running on the system or who's logged in rather, or just users. So if we go back to the users, we have a look here. So of course there's administrator, the default root, super user, most powerful user on the system. So that's where we want to go to now that we have our initial access. Currently CyberLens is who we are logged in as. So let's go into that CyberLens folder. Yeah, I just can't help but use Linux commands. GCI is also going to work. So it looks like a normal Windows directory. So let's go to the desktop. So we still need to find our user flag. Generally, it's going to be in the desktop. Not always, but in this case it is. Awesome. So we can go get that. Paste that in. Great. So admin flag, root flag. Our hint is using RDP. So I think that was actually what some of those other random hire ports are. So we've got some, oh yeah, there it is. Personally, it didn't really help me. It kind of threw me for a loop. I went down like a few other rabbit holes when I RDP'd in. So up to you if that's how you want to solve it. For me though, what I did was just some manual enumeration. And it was nice because we get rewarded for it. So if we just go and look around in a file system, and this is great because like I just got really stuck. Oh, actually, there is a good GCI -recursive period where we want to go. Nope. Oh man, I was so close. Recurse. So simple. And that'll just give us a recursive. So it's like adding, it's like saying ls asterisk in Linux. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is you can look in all the files through a PowerShell terminal a little easier. And this is what we're looking for. So we've got blah, blah, blah. So let's go into there and then let's ls and let's have a look at this. Awesome. So here we get to see a nice little reward for manual enumeration. Oh my goodness, manual enumeration, which is often key in an engagement. So this is a nice reminder to look around on a file system. You never know what's going to be left. Obviously, this is a simulated environment, so this is just left for us to find, but still, it's a good lesson. So definitely take a note of that password. Okay, so what next? We can look at like what processes are running on the machine. Maybe there's another logged in user on the machine. Maybe we can find something else like some hashes or whatever. So we can do some further manual enumeration and basically is find out as much as we can about the system. Once you do all that, then it's okay to start doing automated stuff. In my opinion, you can do whatever you want. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use a script to see if there's any vulnerabilities. So there's a bunch of scripts. One that I've recently found, priv-check. So we can go ahead over to GitHub. Thank you very much for priv-check hitman. I see you. So go ahead and grab that. It's a PS1 script, PowerShell script. Personally, I like to click on raw. That'll take over to the raw version of the script and just copy that one URL. I'm trying to like build up like a repository of scripts when I download them, save me like constantly downloading them again. But we can just go ahead and wget that. Once that's there, great, it's there. So we can start up like a Python server here. So the whole goal is to get it over to our remote system. I'm just gonna go back into PowerShell. I'm pretty sure in this we do have wget, which is kind of nice. There's a few ways of getting this over, but I'm pretty sure we can do this. Yeah, so if we use wget and we will look at our actual machine that we're hosting this Python web server on, and we just want to download that, make sure we go over the port that we've just set, privesc check ps1, and we have a successful get. Awesome. Status code, thanks for that nice feedback. We put that in the system32. I didn't mean to put it there. Whoops. Isn't there a temporary, like Windows temp? Yeah, there is a temp. We can't. Can we go back to our user? Does tilde work? Yeah. So why don't we just put this on our desktop and PS1 go. All right, cool. Why does this hate me? Of course, because it's never that simple in PowerShell. We need to pass through use basic parsing and specify the out file to whatever we want to set it to. And then it should work. Now, if we look, we actually have it. Fantastic. And then again, it's never that simple in PowerShell, but when you go period, semicolon, invoke privesc check. I think that's at least the way that I know how to do it. If there's better ways of using PowerShell, please let me know, because I'm really not that proficient in it. It's funny because I've always been a Windows user, so I should be more proficient in it. I'm much more proficient in Bash, but that's just kind of what I've learned over the years of getting into this sort of stuff. So let's go ahead and stop that server. And I'm new to using this privesc check, but I understand why people like it. I'm probably going to start using it more in these challenges. It gives you this nice summary, whereas like in WinPs and LinPs, other ones, you have to kind of manually go through it, and that's fine. You should be checking things, but this is kind of nice. So at a quick glance at the end of it, I can quickly see AlwaysInstalledElevated is a high. So in order of most important to go and research and check out, it's going to be this thing. AlwaysInstalledElevated. Install a Windows installer package with elevated system privileges. So it kind of looks like this is installed or activated or allowed. Oh, it's a policy. So it's enabled for my user that I'm logged in as. I have that policy. Cool. So next, how can we exploit it? So there are manual ways of doing this, but remember, I'm lazy and I want to do things easier rather than harder. So it looks like that there is a exploit already ready to go. So let's get out of PowerShell here, exit out of, and let's go BG to background this Meterpreter session. Now let's search up AlwaysInstalledElevated within MSF console, and it looks like we have a local exploit. Excellent rating. Awesome, so let's go use 0. Let's look at our options. So we need to set a session, L host and L port. So we can look at what sessions we have running. We only have one, so it's going to be 1. So let's go set session 1, set our listening host, back to us, set our listening port, could be whatever. I could just keep it at that. I'm just going to change it because why not? And let's go ahead and run it. So that's going to go and use the Meterpreter session that we already have running, which is already on the machine. It's going to go and take advantage of that policy that is incorrectly configured on the user. It shouldn't be there. That's not a good thing. And then it's going to go and attempt to take advantage of it using a sneakily crafted MSI installer, which is then going to be ran as the elevated privilege user. And then we should have, who am I? Oh my goodness. Who are we? Authority system. So it's not administrator, but we are logged in as the system user. And that's kind of it. That's like as good as getting root on the system, I'm pretty sure. So now we should be able to go to administrator. We should be able to, how do you list things? I don't know. I'm just going to go over to PowerShell. We can list things out in our desktop, and then we can go ahead and cat that out. And there we go. We've got our admin.txt. We can go ahead and paste that in, and would you look at that, we have completed a room. So thank you very much for watching. It has been a minute since I've done a video, so I appreciate for those who are still around. I miss you. How are you? What's been happening? Hope you enjoyed this walkthrough. If you did enjoy the video and you want to do all that YouTubey stuff, I appreciate it. On the screen, you're going to see a video to the last walkthrough that I did, so go ahead and check that out. Otherwise, thanks again, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, bye.